Oh, hold on, guys. Hold on just a second. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm back in the same day. Hope you don't mind me putting out 2 videos in one day. I'm going to have this one come out in the evening because it's more for the nighttime. Yeah, welcome. As I told you in my previous video, I was going to make another one today because of something that happened during the night. Oh, it was so great. I fell asleep so easily and comfortable last night. I think I watched TV for like 15 minutes and I was ready to go out. And I was woken up, just woken and startled immediately by my dogs growling and barking, but mainly growling, especially my dog Lily that you've seen in my videos a million times. She was growling as if to kill something. And I mean that literally, guys. It was so spooky. So I'm laying in bed and I look up. I look over towards the doorway of my bedroom, towards the hall, and it's completely dark, black, in the hall. I don't have lights on, through night lights or anything like that on in my house. I have to have it really dark when I go to sleep. And so I'm looking in the hall, towards the hallway, through my bedroom door. I don't see anything, but they were both my dogs were looking at the bedroom door. And so I got a panicky feeling like, oh my God, is somebody in the house? And I thought, no. Because to get into my house has double windows, okay? And I don't mean the usual double windows. In this house, for some reason, I don't know why they did it this way, there's the one set of one set of windows, that you look out of, and then right outside of that, they put another set of windows. So it's literally 2 sets of full windows, not like a double pane window, a double window where it's double paned. No, this is actual 2 sets of windows that you can open and close. I don't know why they did it that way, but they did. Anyway, so to get into this house, you would have, and I know they can't get into the doors because of the way I have it set up. So the only way you could get into my house through windows is if you broke the first set of windows and then got through the second set of windows. So I thought, no, there's nobody in here. And I thought, oh well, so I laid there for a minute just listening. I wanted to listen. I have my bedroom window open about that much because they're real high, so nobody can just crawl in my bedroom windows unless they get a ladder or have somebody help lift them up there or whatever. But I leave it open for the air conditioner because I have a swamp cooler. And with a swamp cooler, you have to have something open for the air to flow and for it to cool properly. So every night I have that window open. And I thought, well, maybe they heard something outside. So I got up, I looked outside my bedroom window, and I decided to walk out through the house. I had Google turn on the house lights. So I was like, I told her to turn them on. They turned them on, or she turned them on. So the house was lit up. So I walked down the hallway to the living room. I looked out the windows in the front. I looked out the windows in the back. Nothing. No, I couldn't see anybody. And my backyard area is lit up a lot because of the businesses and everything that are back there. They have, the real bright lights all the time. So it's pretty lit up back there. Well, I looked, I couldn't see anybody, and I thought, what is going on? So I laid back down. I thought, oh my God, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just going to lay back down. Well, while I was laying there, Lily, I am telling you, that dog was growling in a way I've never heard her growl. And she and Pixie, they were both staring right. I shut all the lights off, laid back down. They were staring right back at the door towards the hallway. Now, when they hear a sound outside, if we're in bed at night, they automatically look towards the window. If they hear something out front, they automatically look up towards the window and bark or growl, whatever. This time, no, they kept staring out my bedroom door into the dark hallway. So I lay there and I kept, looking out of my bedroom door, and I thought, what are they looking at? She literally had her, when they bare their teeth in that awful, and all their teeth are showing and their mouth is partially open, and her eyes were slanted to like little slits, and I thought, oh my God. And she sat there, and she sat up, and she kept staring. Her ears were up, her face was all whatever with that growl look, and she had the most guttural, it sounded like a freaking lion growling, not my little Lily that you've seen. That's how strong it was. It was just this deep, deep, and I thought, oh my God, she's never done this. And they both just sat on the bed staring towards the door. They would not move. I even tried to get Lily, and she went like that, like, leave me alone. And I thought, whoa, she never does that to me. And she they went to the edge of the bed. Hold on a second, guys. They went to the edge of the bed, or the foot of the bed, rather, because the foot of my bed doesn't face directly to the door, but it like say, here's the door, here's my bed. So I'm laying in it, and the foot is over here. Well, obviously I can look right at the door. Well, they decided to get at the foot of the bed, and they just laid there staring and growling with their ears up and just kind of twitching. And I thought, oh my God. And I literally started thinking, is there a ghost or a spirit in this house right now? Because I have seen my dogs growl and bark when somebody was outside at night. I've heard how they growl, how they bark. It's not like that. If they hear somebody out at night, say I'm watching TV and it's nighttime and they hear something that I don't, they hear things we don't hear. And they hear something, they'll bark, rah, 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 or rah, rah, rah. And it's like, oh, somebody must be out there. I'll look out. Yeah, somebody's walking by or walking their dog at night, whatever. This was different, guys. They, especially Lily, she looked terrified. And she was just staring. I wish I could duplicate the stare that she did. Her eyes were like kind of like, you could see the whites around them where she had her eyes open so wide, and so did Pixie. You could actually see the whites around them. They were open so wide. And I thought, oh my God. Almost like they were bugging out a little bit. And their ears sticking up. And then she lowered her head. Excuse me, Lily lowered her head a little bit. And she just kind of went, a long, non-stop growl. That freaked me out too. I was like, oh my God, it's going and going and going and going, like she wasn't going to stop growling. And I thought, oh my God, I can't take this. So I turned the TV on to watch Grace and Frankie, because that's what always helps me relax and go to sleep. And I thought, okay, I can't go to sleep now. I wasn't tired at all after that. My heart was pounding, waking up like that is such a start to your body and to your mind from a deep sleep. I was in a deep sleep. And so I turned the TV on. I thought, no, I can't. I need to relax my mind to go to sleep. I'm not going to stay up from 2 o'clock in the morning. I had only fallen asleep about a little before 11, so maybe 3 hours of sleep. No. So I was laying there watching TV. They were laying next to me, but at the foot of the bed. And it was like they were on guard duty. They literally sat at the edge of the bed and were just like, just staring and low growling. And I thought, oh God. The baby gate I had oh my God. What was that all about? the baby gate I have up, just leaning against the wall, decided to fall over. Okay, that's a little weird that I'm talking about this and that happens. Okay, where was I? Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, she was letting out that, I don't know where I was, I'm gonna just start. God, that freaked me out. She was letting out a low growl nonstop, and they were just constantly staring towards the bedroom door, out into the dark, pitch black hallway. And I swear to you, it looks like they were looking at something, but the fact that they reacted the way they did is what bothered me. There are times when my dogs have been on the couch and it'll look like they're looking at something, because see, here's my living room, and then right there is my kitchen. And so if they're sitting on the couch, they can look right into the kitchen. Well, there are times they've looked in the kitchen or in the living room as if they're looking at something on the ground. And I've sometimes thought maybe my other dogs that I used to have here that have passed on, maybe they're visiting. That was my thought. Because they would literally be on the couch like going like this, going back and forth, looking down at the ground in the living room or in the kitchen. They're looking around or going around like that, but they weren't showing any kind of fear. In fact, one time Lily got up and she walked down to where she was looking and she started wagging her tail. So that's when I thought, maybe my dogs are visiting. Because she literally was wagging her tail and her butt, you know how they do when they get happy and kind of excited? And that's what she was doing in the middle of the living room floor while she was going like this, as if she was looking at something. And I welcomed my dogs if it was them. I said, if this is you, Capone, or if this is you, Kitty, that was my dog's name, Kitty, I said, you're welcome to come visit anytime. And Lily was down there and Pixie was on the couch just kind of looking like, oh yeah, cool. No fear, no nothing. Last night, that was terrifying. So, I don't even know, guys. The way that she was growling was like something I've never ever heard. I mean, literally. You know what? I have to check something real quick. Oh my! That whole thing right there made me lose my train of everything. That scared the daylights out of me when that. I can't believe that fell either. This is kind of weird that fell like that. What time did I even start this? It was at 3 or at 12. What was it? 12:25, I believe. Yeah, or something like that. Anyway, my camera says I have 12 minutes, so I'm going to go by that. But, yeah, guys, I had to talk to you about this because that was not a normal reaction from my dogs. Not at all. And that, the way she had her teeth, you know, how they pull their mouth back and all their teeth are showing, like, oh, you know, I was like, I'd do it for you, but I don't have my upper teeth in yet. Soon, guys. Soon, I'll have them in. But she was baring all her teeth. And the look in her face was of a dog that was thinking, I'm ready to kill if I have to. You know what I'm talking about. When a dog becomes, it goes into that natural wild state of protection or whatever, she had that look of, I am ready to kill. And I just sat there looking at her thinking, oh my gosh. And then when she moved her body close to mine, that was weird because after she had done this for a while, all of a sudden she walks over like, here I am. And she's at the foot of the bed, right? She's over here. And all of a sudden she decides to walk back and she gets right up against me to have her body up against me and sat there with her little head just glaring out the bedroom door. I was just kind of freaking out. And even though I was watching, that's what I was talking about, Grace and Frankie, even though I was watching TV, they sat there completely alert, just continuing to stare out the bedroom door. And I can't believe that fell. You know what? I'm going to show you what this just did. I am going to show you real quick. There's my babies. They're on their... As you can see, Pixie doesn't have her little thing on her leg anymore. So she's recovering. But I'm going to show you this. Look at how that fell. How weird is that? I think that's really strange that that fell like that. Because see, here's my hallway. That's what they were looking. There's my bedroom door right there. And they were looking straight into this hallway at night. And that's what just scared the daylights out of me that fell, guys. So, yeah, hi, babies. Huh, babies, yeah. I gotta put this back up, guys. Oh. Okay. Excuse me while I do this. But yeah, there we go. Pretty much right there. Anyway, guys, that was so scary. And to see my dog doing her best to protect me, and then Pixie just lay there on the side, kind of just, because she's still recovering from having this splint taken off, and she's trying to learn how to use that leg again, hopefully. But she was laying there just kind of staring and just had a soft low growl, like that. Whereas Lily's was, I mean, it was so deep and guttural. I can't even do it as deep as she did. I don't know what they were looking at, guys. They were looking at something. That was not a sound from outside, because when there is a sound outside, they either look at the window or they'll run to the doors. Like, oh, I know somebody's out there. No, this time they didn't budge from the bed and continued to stare out my bedroom door towards the hallway. And I'm telling you, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. But I had a hard time going back to sleep. I did get to go back to sleep though, luckily. And I slept till 6:30, so that was good. But guys, I'm telling you, have you ever experienced anything like that where your animals have made you feel like something is around? Something was around last night. I don't know what it was, but it was not from outside. Because when it's outside, they go to the door, they run to the window, they run to, or they look out the window, you know, in the direction of the window, that type of thing. Nope. They were glued to the bed, glued to me, staring out my bedroom door. Tell me of any experiences you've had that are similar to that, because that was downright scary. So anyway, guys, just wanted to make a second video, tell you about what happened during the night. Maybe you can listen to it tonight and ooh, ghosty stories. Anyway.